All right, so today we're going to be looking into AI in entertainment. Looks like from what you sent us, you're trying to figure out how this is changing everything. Movies, games, music, even what shows up on your social media.
Yeah, it's interesting because AI is moving past just like making things faster. It's
Yeah.
actually starting to like make creative decisions, predict what audiences want, even generate content on its own, like composing music, writing scripts, even directing.
It's like going from a behind-the-scenes assistant to taking center stage. Like one article was talking about these tools, I think it was called Magisto,
Yeah.
that can edit a whole movie in hours instead of weeks.
Right.
I mean, imagine what that means for filmmakers.
Absolutely.
Any aspiring director with a laptop could make a blockbuster.
It's true. That kind of efficiency could really change things.
Yeah.
But it makes you wonder, will a flood of AI content make it harder for the good films to stand out?
Right.
It makes you wonder how audiences will even discover movies if everyone in their AI can be a filmmaker.
That's a great point. And speaking of shaking things up, companies like Ubisoft are using AI to build these massive realistic game worlds. For titles like Assassin's Creed Mirage, they call it procedural content generation. It's basically giving the game a set of rules and letting it build the world itself. Kind of like how No Man's Sky created a whole universe with billions of planets to explore.
And that's where things get interesting. Imagine video game worlds that are not just vast, but also like super detailed and diverse, constantly evolving, adapting to the player's actions. It could lead to gaming experiences that are truly unique and unpredictable.
But does bigger necessarily mean better? Will we lose something if game worlds become so vast that they lose that, I don't know, sense of focus and handcrafted detail? It makes you wonder what will happen to the human-level designers and artists who are painstakingly crafting those details.
That's a really valid concern. As AI gets more powerful, we have to ask, what is the role of human creativity? Is it about coming up with a spark of an idea? Or is it about refining and shaping that idea into something really special?
Yeah, and it's not just limited to gaming. We're seeing it in music, too. AI programs like Emperor Music and AIVA are composing scores that are actually being used in video games and movies.
Right. It's true. We're reaching a point where AI can analyze a scene and compose music. That perfectly captures the mood and tone. It's incredible. But it also raises questions about what it means to be a composer or musician in this new world. You know what I mean? It's about technical skill, emotional expression, or something else entirely.
And how do we even begin to address copyright when an AI is generating music? Who owns the rights to a song created by an algorithm? These are questions the legal system is still trying to figure out.
Absolutely.
And it's not just music. AI is also being used to suggest plot twists, develop characters, and even write whole scripts. There's this deep learning model named Benjamin that directed a short sci-fi film in 48 hours.
That's wild.
It's fascinating, but is AI really capable of true artistic vision? Can it create something that moves us emotionally, challenges our perspective, makes us think about the world in a new way? Or is it simply replicating patterns and formulas that it's learned from existing works of art?
I think that's the big debate, isn't it? Some people see AI as a tool that can like augment human creativity and open up new possibilities. Others worry that it'll lead to, I don't know, a homogenization of culture, where everything starts to look and sound the same.
Right. And this idea of AI predicting success isn't just limited to music. Hollywood studios are also turning to algorithms to try and guarantee box office hits. They're using AI to analyze scripts, predict audience reactions, even suggest casting changes to maximize profits.
Yeah, studios like Warner Bros. And Sony Pictures are already using those insights to make decisions about which projects to greenlight and how to market them. It's fascinating to see how data analysis is transforming the creative process.
It's great for efficiency, but does it risk turning filmmaking into a purely mechanical process? Where's the room for creative inspiration and, happy accidents?
That's a really important question. And it gets to the heart of the tension between art and commerce.
Right.
Will AI help studios create more of what people already want? Or will it help them discover truly original and groundbreaking stories?
Right. And if AI is making these predictions, are we headed towards a world where every movie is a predictable hit?
Maybe.
I guess I can cancel my Netflix subscription and just watch the same movie over and over?
Maybe. But I think there's something to be said for the element of surprise and discovery. There's a certain magic in stumbling upon a film you didn't know you'd love, or being moved by a story you never expected to resonate with you.
Speaking of discovering new things, this personalization is everywhere these days. Netflix, Spotify, even the ads we see online are using AI to figure out what we like before we do. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
And also super convenient.
Right. It's the personalization paradox. AI gives us what we think we want, but it also risks creating filter bubbles, where we're only exposed to content that reinforces our existing views and preferences.
Yeah, and this brings us to something called sentiment analysis, where companies can now analyze social media to figure out how audiences feel about movies and shows in real time.
It's like having a digital ear to the ground, listening to what people are saying online about a movie or show. This instant feedback can be valuable, but it also puts a lot of pressure on creators.
It is a bit unsettling to think about how this real-time feedback could shape the creative process. Imagine knowing what everyone thinks about your movie the second it comes out. It could be helpful, but it could also be completely paralyzing.
Absolutely. And this brings us to one of the biggest questions surrounding AI. Will it replace artists, writers, musicians? Will it devalue human creativity?
These are serious concerns, especially given the recent Writers Guild of America strike, where the use of AI in scriptwriting was a major point of contention. A lot of people are worried about job losses and the potential for AI to stifle artistic expression.
There are definitely some valid concerns, but I think it's important to remember that technology is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The question is not whether AI will change the entertainment industry, but how we will shape that change.
So it's less about AI versus humans and more about finding a way for them to work together. It's intriguing to think about how writers could use AI as a brainstorming partner, or how filmmakers could use it to explore new creative possibilities.
Absolutely. AI can help us overcome creative blocks, experiment with new ideas, even push the boundaries of what's possible in storytelling.
And then there are the technological leaps AI is enabling, like the rise of deepfakes. These are videos where someone's face is digitally replaced with someone else's. Think putting your face on your favorite celebrity's body. The results can be incredibly realistic, but the potential for misuse is huge, especially for spreading misinformation.
Oh, absolutely. Disney is even experimenting with using deepfakes to bring back classic movie stars or craft entirely new digital actors. It opens up incredible creative possibilities, but it also raises ethical questions about consent, ownership, and the very nature of identity.
It's a bit like stepping into a sci-fi movie. And we're not quite sure if it's a utopia or a dystopia, but let's be optimistic for a moment. What are some of the more exciting, positive ways AI could shape the future of entertainment?
Well, imagine interactive stories where your choices actually determine the ending, or virtual worlds that feel as real as the one outside your window.
It's a captivating vision, but how far are we really from that level of immersion, and what are the potential downsides of blurring the lines between reality and virtual experiences?
Those are great questions, and to answer them, we need to delve deeper into the specific ways AI is being used in different areas of the entertainment industry. And that's exactly what we'll be doing in the next part of our deep dive.
Sounds fascinating. I'm ready for part 2.
So let's shift gears a bit and look at how AI is transforming the behind-the-scenes aspects of entertainment. You sent over some notes from the Hollywood Innovation and Transformation Summit. That really caught my eye. Sounds like the entire production process is being revolutionized.
Yeah. One of the key takeaways was how AI is being used to streamline workflows and increase efficiency across the board. Aaron Livy, the co-founder of Box, talked about how AI can now index film assets with incredible accuracy. That means teams can spend less time searching for files and more time actually creating.
Right. That's a fantastic example of how AI can free up human creatives to focus on what they do best. Imagine a world where directors and editors don't have to, waste hours sifting through mountains of footage. They can jump right into the creative process, experimenting with different cuts and visual effects, ultimately leading to a richer final product.
It makes you wonder if this could lead to shorter production times and lower costs, which could potentially open doors for independent filmmakers who might not have the same resources as the big studios.
Exactly. And it's not just about saving time and money. AI is also being used to make smarter decisions throughout the production process. There's a lot of buzz around AI-enabled content strategy analytics, where algorithms analyze data to help studios decide which projects to greenlight, and even who to cast based on audience preferences and trends.
So data-driven entertainment, huh? I could see how that could be helpful in minimizing risk and maximizing profits, but I don't know, doesn't it feel a bit calculated?
Right,
Like,
great.
what about taking a chance on a bold new idea or an unknown actor with raw talent?
That's the challenge, isn't it? Finding the balance between data-driven insights and creative intuition. Will AI help studios make more of what people already like? Or will it help them discover truly original and groundbreaking stories? That's a question that filmmakers and studio executives are going to need to grapple with as AI becomes more integrated into the decision-making process.
And speaking of decision-making, the Writers Guild of America was on strike earlier this year, and the use of AI in scriptwriting was a major sticking point. They were demanding regulations on AI-generated material to protect writers' jobs and ensure fair compensation.
Right, the strike highlighted the very real concerns that many creatives have about AI's impact on their livelihoods. Will AI ultimately replace human writers? Or will it become a valuable tool that enhances their creativity and productivity? That's a question that's still being debated. But one thing's for sure, the role of the writer is evolving, and AI is playing a part in that evolution.
And it's not just writers who are feeling the impact of AI. The Screen Actors Guild is also keeping a close eye on developments, particularly the rise of deepfakes. Imagine a world where an actor's likeness can be used without their consent, or where studios can recreate deceased actors for new roles.
We're already seeing this happening. There are companies that are using AI to create virtual actors, marketing it as a way to bring back classic movie stars, or even invent completely new ones. It's both fascinating and a bit unsettling, isn't it?
It definitely raises a lot of questions. Who owns the rights to a person's likeness? What happens to an actor's legacy when their digital double can be manipulated and exploited? And what does this mean for the future of acting as a profession?
These are complex legal and ethical issues that we're only beginning to understand, and the implications extend far beyond Hollywood. Deepfakes have the potential to be weaponized for misinformation and propaganda, making it even harder to distinguish truth from fiction.
It's a bit overwhelming to think about, honestly. It feels like we're at a crossroads, where we need to carefully consider the potential benefits and risks of AI before it becomes so deeply embedded in our lives that we lose control.
I agree. We need to be having these conversations now, while we still have the opportunity to shape the development and use of AI in a way that benefits humanity.
So where do we go from here? It seems like there are a lot of unknowns and potential pitfalls.
Well, I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool, and like any tool, it can be used for good or for ill. The key is to be aware of its capabilities and limitations, to be mindful of its potential impact, and to use it responsibly.
That makes sense. But how do we ensure that AI is used responsibly, especially in a fast-paced industry like entertainment, where there's so much pressure to innovate and stay ahead of the curve?
I think it starts with education and dialogue. We need to be having open and honest conversations about the ethical implications of AI, both within the entertainment industry and in society as a whole. We need to be asking tough questions about bias, privacy, and the future of work. And we need to be developing guidelines and regulations that protect human creativity and prevent AI from being used in harmful ways.
It sounds like a massive undertaking, but it also feels incredibly important. It's not just about the future of entertainment, it's about the future of humanity.
Exactly. And I think one of the most exciting things about AI is that it's forcing us to have these conversations. It's challenging our assumptions about what it means to be human, what it means to be creative, and what kind of future we want to build.
That's a powerful thought. It's not just about the technology itself, it's about the conversations it sparks and the choices we make as a society.
Absolutely. And speaking of choices, let's delve into some specific examples of how AI is being used in different areas of the entertainment industry today. We can explore how musicians are using AI to create new sounds, how game developers are using it to build immersive worlds, and how streaming services are using it to personalize our entertainment experiences.
I'm really curious to hear more about that. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's get down to like the real world stuff. You mentioned earlier something about a Swedish record label using AI to find new talent. It sounds like sci-fi.
Yeah, it really is cutting edge. This record label, they use an AI to analyze tons of data from streaming services, social media, even live performances, to find artists who are gaining traction but maybe flying under the radar, the traditional scouts. And they found this artist, Alfie Castley. He was based in London but had a huge following in Southeast Asia that nobody had really noticed. The AI spotted this, the record label signed him, and now he's got a global fan base.
Wow, that's incredible. It makes you wonder how many talented artists are out there who just need the right kind of exposure. Could AI be the key to leveling the playing field in music, helping talented musicians get their music heard no matter where they're from or their background?
I think it's definitely a possibility. AI could break down geographical barriers and open up opportunities for artists who don't have access to the traditional gatekeepers. But like we've been talking about, there are always concerns about bias. If the data used to train the AI isn't diverse, it could end up making existing inequalities in the music industry even worse.
Yeah, it's a reminder that AI is only as good as the humans who create it. and the data it's trained on, we need to be questioning these systems and refining them to make sure they're serving a wider purpose, not just reinforcing existing power structures.
Right, and that's crucial. We need to keep that in mind as AI becomes more integrated into all aspects of entertainment.
Speaking of integration, I've been kind of curious about how AI is being used for marketing and advertising. I mean, entertainment is a business, and advertising plays a huge role in getting movies and music and games in front of audiences.
One of the biggest trends in advertising is personalization,
Hmm.
and AI is really driving it, like tailoring ads to each viewer based on demographics, their interests, their online behavior, even their emotional responses to the content.
So instead of seeing the same generic ads as everyone else, I'll start seeing ads that are designed for me. On one hand, that's kind of cool. Who wants to see ads for stuff they aren't interested in? But it's also a bit invasive. Like, how much does this AI really know about me? And who are they sharing that with?
That's a big concern, the balance between personalization and privacy.
Oh.
As AI gets better at targeting our preferences, it also raises questions about data collection, transparency, and control
Right.
over how our information is used.
I read this article about how AI is actually buying and selling ads in real time now, based on like algorithms and predictive modeling. It's called programmatic advertising. Sounds like the Matrix.
Yeah, it really is high tech. Basically, AI is automating the whole media buying process, makes it much faster and more efficient. The algorithms analyze tons of data to figure out which audiences are most likely to be interested in a specific ad. Then they bid on ad space in real time to get those ads in front of the right people.
So it sounds efficient, but doesn't that risk creating more of those filter bubbles? If the algorithms are only showing us ads for stuff we already like, how will we ever discover anything new?
I think that's a valid concern. It's something advertisers need to be careful about. As they use these AI-powered solutions, the goal shouldn't be to just reinforce what you already like, but to also introduce people to new ideas, products, and experiences that they might not have found otherwise.
It seems like finding that balance between personalization and discovery is going to be really important.
Absolutely.
As AI becomes more powerful, we need to make sure AI is helping us expand our horizons, not just making them smaller.
Couldn't agree more. I think that applies to our whole conversation about AI and entertainment. It's not about whether AI is good or bad. It's about understanding what it can do, what it can't do, and using it in a way that makes our lives and experiences better.
This deep dive has been incredibly eye-opening. AI is already having a big impact on entertainment, and it's only going to get bigger.
It's a really exciting time. We're seeing a huge change in how entertainment is made, produced, shared, and consumed, and AI is at the center of it all.
So as we wrap up, what's the key takeaway for our listeners? What should they be thinking about as they navigate this new world of AI-powered entertainment?
Stay curious, informed, and engaged. Don't be afraid to ask questions, challenge assumptions, and explore what AI can do, but also be mindful of what could go wrong and advocate for responsible development and use.
I think that's great advice. AI isn't just happening out there. It's something we all need to be thinking about. It's going to shape the future of entertainment and ultimately the future of our world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and be sure to let us know what other topics you want us to explore